The ancient world worshipped many gods. Among them was Baal. He was a formidable deity.
Baal was known as the storm god. He held dominion over the sky. He commanded thunder and lightning. His rains nourished the land. Baal's origins lay in the ancient Near East. He emerged from the Canaanite pantheon. His influence spread throughout the region. He became one of the most prominent deities.
Baal's name means Lord or Master. This reflects his power. He was a central figure in Canaanite religion. His worship was widespread.
Temples and altars were erected in his honor. People turned to him for sustenance. They believed he controlled the elements. He was both feared and revered.
Ancient texts offer glimpses into his worship. These fragments paint a picture. Baal was a powerful force. He was intricately linked to the natural world. His influence was undeniable.
The worship of Baal was more than just a belief system. It permeated every aspect of Canaanite society. From agriculture to warfare, Baal was present. His favor was sought through rituals. Baal's influence permeated Canaanite society. He was more than just a god. He was seen as the lifeblood of their world. Agriculture depended on him. His rains brought fertility to the land.
Farmers prayed to him for bountiful harvests. They offered him the first fruits of their labor. Baal's power extended beyond the fields. He was also a god of war.
Kings and warriors sought his favor. They believed he could grant them victory. They attributed their triumphs to his might.
Temples dedicated to Baal dotted the landscape. These were centers of worship. Priests conducted elaborate rituals. They sought to appease the god. They made offerings and sacrifices.
Music and dance were part of the ceremonies. These rituals were meant to ensure Baal's continued favor.
He was often shown as a bull, symbolizing strength and virility. Other depictions showed him wielding a lightning bolt, representing his command over storms.
The Israelites emerged into a world dominated by Baal. They brought with them their own god, Yahweh. Yahweh was a jealous god. He demanded exclusive worship. This led to a clash of cultures. It was a battle for the hearts and minds of the people.
The Bible is filled with stories of this conflict. Prophets of Yahweh challenged the priests of Baal. They performed miracles. They sought to prove Yahweh's superiority.
Elijah's confrontation with the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel is a famous example. Yahweh was depicted as a different kind of God. He was not bound to the natural world. He was the creator of all things. He was not appeased by empty rituals. He demanded righteousness and justice.
His covenant with the Israelites was based on moral law. The worship of Baal was seen as a threat to this covenant. It represented idolatry. It was a turning away from the one true God.
Despite the warnings, the allure of Baal was strong. The conflict between Yahweh and Baal continued throughout the history of Israel. The worship of Baal was not without its dark side. It involved practices that were considered abhorrent by the Israelites. Blood sacrifice was a central part of Baal worship. Animals were sacrificed to appease the god. In some cases, human sacrifices were also made. The Tophet was a place where these sacrifices were performed. It was located outside the walls of Jerusalem. Archaeological evidence suggests that infants and young children were sacrificed there. Their remains were buried in urns. This practice was particularly repugnant to the Israelites. Yahweh had forbidden human sacrifice. It was seen as an abomination. The Canaanites, however, believed that such sacrifices were necessary. They believed that offering their own children would ensure Baal's favor.
Section 5. The Bible's verdict. Baal, the false god. The Bible is unequivocal in its condemnation of Baal. He is portrayed as a false god. His worship is seen as a form of idolatry. The Israelites are warned against the dangers of being seduced by his promises. The consequences of straying from Yahweh are dire.
The prophets of Yahweh were relentless in their denunciation of Baal. They saw his worship as a threat to the covenant. They warned that it would lead to disaster. the Israelites were urged to repent and return to the one true God.
The Bible depicts Baal as a powerless deity. He is unable to compete with the might of Yahweh. Elijah's challenge on Mount Carmel is a case in point. Baal's prophets call upon him to send fire, but their pleas are met with silence. Yahweh, on the other hand, sends down fire from heaven. The message is clear. Baal is a fraud. He is a figment of the Canaanite imagination. He has no real power. Yahweh is the one true God. He alone is worthy of worship.
Section 6, Echoes of Baal. From ancient times to modernity. The worship of Baal may seem like a relic of a bygone era, but its echoes can still be felt today.
The struggle between Yahweh and Baal is a timeless one. It is a battle between truth and falsehood. It is a conflict that rages within each of us.
The temptation to worship false gods is ever present. We may not bow down to statues of Baal, but we often put other things in his place. Money, power, and fame can become our idols.
We can become so consumed by the pursuit of these things that we lose sight of what truly matters. The story of Baal is a cautionary tale. It reminds us that we are created to worship God. When we turn away from Him, we turn away from ourselves. We embrace emptiness. We become lost in a world of our own making.
The echoes of Baal can be seen in the materialism and consumerism that permeate modern society. We are constantly bombarded with messages that tell us that happiness can be found in material possessions. Section 7. The persistence of ritual. Baal's enduring legacy. Rituals played a central role in the worship of Baal. These rituals were designed to appease the god. They were also a way of connecting with the divine.
The Israelites were forbidden from participating in these rituals. They were seen as a form of idolatry.
Despite the biblical prohibition, some scholars believe that traces of Baal worship can be found in later Jewish and Christian traditions. The use of incense, for example, was a common practice in Baal worship. It was also used in the temple in Jerusalem.
The practice of animal sacrifice was another hallmark of Baal worship. While human sacrifice was strictly forbidden by Yahweh, animal sacrifice was an accepted part of Israelite religion.
The persistence of these rituals raises some intriguing questions. To what extent did Baal worship influence later religious practices? Is it possible that some of the rituals that we associate with Judaism and Christianity have their roots in paganism?
These are complex questions with no easy answers. However, they highlight the enduring power of ritual. Rituals can provide a sense of comfort and security.
Section 8, From Canaanite Heights to Global Beliefs. The story of Baal is not just an ancient tale, it is a story that continues to resonate today. The struggle between Yahweh and Baal is a microcosm of the larger conflict between good and evil. It is a battle that is being fought on a global scale.
The world is filled with false gods. They come in many forms. They promise us happiness, fulfillment, and meaning, but their promises are empty. They lead us down a path of destruction.
The worship of Baal was characterized by a focus on the material world. It was a religion of self-indulgence and gratification. It stood in stark contrast to the worship of Yahweh, which emphasized righteousness, justice, and compassion.
The same can be said of many of the false gods that we worship today. They appeal to our baser instincts. They lead us away from the path of truth.
Section 9. The enduring question, what do we truly worship? The story of Baal is a powerful reminder of the enduring human need for worship. From the dawn of history, humans have sought to connect with something larger than themselves. We have built temples, offered sacrifices, and created elaborate rituals. But what are we really worshiping?
Are we worshiping the God of the Bible, or are we worshiping something else? Are we worshiping our own desires, our own ambitions, our own fears?
The worship of Baal was ultimately about control. The Canaanites believed that by appeasing Baal, they could control the forces of nature. They could ensure a bountiful harvest. They could secure victory in battle.
In many ways, we are no different. We often try to control our own lives. We make plans, we set goals, we strive for success, but ultimately, we are not in control.
The story of Baal reminds us that there is only one God. He is the creator of all things. He is the one who holds the future in his hands.